Hello everyone and welcome to finally Hastings Half Marathon 2025. All the brothers are here, including W Mills and D Mills, but we are honing in on W Mills today, going for his first ever sub 90 on such a tough course. Look at the state of it. It starts down on the seafront, so sea level, and then rises all the way up to 140 meters, and then you're going up and down up the top up to 14k. Then you get a lovely steep downhill to the seafront, and then you are greeted usually with a horrific headwind. Let's see how that goes today, though. W Mills this year has done Eastbourne Half Marathon in a vague attempt for his first sub 90. Obviously, still a morning run on Strava, didn't go too well. Things went much better at Worthing Half Marathon, a 1 hour 30 and 28 seconds there, so close to the sub 90, but fading towards the end. We are now here 4 months later at the Hastings Half Marathon. It's going to be so tough with those hills, but Will's been consistently doing 50, 60k weeks all summer into autumn. He's got to average 4:16 per kilometer. He'll be quicker going downhill. He'll be slower going uphill. But if he can just average 4:16, it sounds so easy. He can finally go sub 90. Come on, W Mills. Let's go get the job done.
Sorry, mate. Sorry.
And W Mills is underway at the Hastings Half Marathon. 4:16 per kilometre or 6:51 per mile is all he needs to go sub 90. Thankfully, the weather gods have slightly blessed us today as Storm Amy yesterday caused havoc. It's thankfully mostly pissed off away to the north and east, but it's still fairly breezy out there. But when isn't it on the south coast? No excuses today, W Mills. We've got 3,000 runners out there sitting, tucking behind. Let them do the work in the wind. It's your time, brother. I did just see that guy in the blue cap trying to create a dramatic thumbnail for me, barging his way through, but we don't need to create that today. Just the sub 90 in these evil hills is enough to get those clicks, I reckon. Will heading round the corner now. He's still behind the 100-minute pacer, but that's okay. He's got 21.1k to make up. He's just easing into it at the moment. 4:20 per kilometre. And the first hill you can see down on the bottom left is about to appear when we turn right in a second. You can also see that 100-minute side swaying around in the breeze. We are into a headwind when we are heading east to west, as it's a westerly wind. A small pack forms behind the 100-minute pacer, people not wanting to go ahead of him. W Mills obviously has lofty ambitions. He moves through at 3:50 per kilometre and sets out upon the next pack. And he's still moving along swiftly at the moment. I can see Blue Cap up there, hopefully not barging anyone. But the first hill is here. The Pure Jim Benson for Beds hill is here. It's a short and swift one, but it does get that heart rate probably climbing pretty quickly straight away. Will is trudging on up, 4% gradient at the moment, and when we turn right again, you can see the elevation change up there. Will's heart rate already climbing into the mid-160s. There's a lad to his left in an orange vest already having a gel. I wouldn't recommend a gel straight away, but maybe he's in the middle of a massive long run. This is his 20th K anyway. But anyway, Will is moving up this hill. 167 heart rate he just bleeped to there. Yeah, he's back there again. 5 flat per kilometre. Oh, this is going to be such a bloody good video. He crests the top of this first hill and can enjoy some brief respite, which his heart rate will recover from fairly quickly in this early stage. But the longer we go on, the longer it is going to take that heart rate to recover when you come at the top of a hill. And he's going to be desperately trying to make that time up back down the hill. As he is at the moment, he can make that time up fine. But those later hills and even downhills are going to burn so bad. But we're going to be here for it all. And look, we're going uphill again. Oh, Hastings, we love you. But as if by magic, that first K is in, and it's a 4:24, so some seconds have been lost. 8 seconds to be exact. with that little bottleneck at the start, always a little bit slow to begin with when it's that crowded. And our first little teaser hill, but this second kilometre, as you can see on the elevation map down the bottom left, is all downhill, so W Mills can try and get those 8 seconds back. And as he's coming down this very pleasant 2%, 3%, 4% gradient downhill, he's not flying past people, and he's going along at 345, 350 per kilometre, so hopefully that means he's round people that are of his pace, going for that sub 90 as well, as that's always going to help push you forward. There was meant to actually be a sub 90 pacer today, but they've disappeared off the face of the earth. Maybe it is actually Will, so get on in, tuck in behind Dub. The boy is ready to boogie. Things leveling off in the middle of this second kilometre as we go through a mile, but Will's heart rate has come down to the low 160s now from the late 160s up that first hill. So hopefully he's ready to tackle the third kilometre hill coming up shortly. That's around 35 metres. Oh! And good evening, we have skipped to halfway up it, 8% gradient, the heart rate in the 170s, 520 per kilometre. We at least in that second kilometre dropped to 406, 10 seconds gained, and now we're 2 seconds ahead of our goal. As Will leans into this steep gradient, trying to lose as little time as possible, while not putting ridiculous effort in, because the 3 or 4k climb of Queensway will be coming around 4-5k. The steepest bastard of this second hill is over. It's only 2 or 3% now, so the pace now can come down into the mid 430s. I sense a little switch of time. Yes, 3.4k now. We are in the gently undulating part of the Hastings Half Marathon, and Will was able to deliver a 4:32 in that very hilly third kilometre. 16 seconds lost, but the gap pace, the grade adjusted pace, according to my calculations, was 3:58, so a decent push was made up there. But we are now 10 seconds behind that sub 90 goal. In this relatively flat region, Will is moving along at 4:05 per kilometre, so that does give me some hope that he's out there feeling strong today. We skip now to 4k, so let's have a look at that kilometre. Oh, W Mills, we like what we see. Another 4:06, but this was only net 1 metres downhill compared to the second kilometre that was also a 4:06, 19 metres downhill. And we are bang on level with our goal at 4k. And this fifth kilometre is a lovely downhill section. Net down of 15 metres. Towards the end, it does start to go uphill, that grim Queensway road. But at the moment, look, we've dropped off 5 metres in 20 seconds or so. Will is flying past people at the moment. 3:25 per kilometre. Going for the gung-ho, let's gain as much time as possible before I've got to trek all the way up to 140 metres. I love your style, Dub. And before Will hits this torrid hill, can I just ask for a like and subscribe, and mainly a subscribe? We are 200 or so subs away from 10k that I would love to hit over the next few weeks from releasing these Hastings Half videos to then put out some sort of 10k special in 3 or 4 weeks' time. And Will is still enjoying the final dregs of this downhill section. We are down to 8 metres above sea level, so that means you can see in the distance the hill is coming. And here it is. It's not the worst gradient of the whole course, but it's just the length of it. It's 3-4k, just continually going up 3-4%. But thankfully, Will had banked a nice chunk of time, a 4:02 fifth kilometre. And we have 14 seconds in our back pocket as we gradually climb to 140 metres. But this is why W and D Mills have been doing hill repeats every single week over the summer. Purple Top was just overtaken, and we're hot on the heels of New Balance Man here. Hopefully we can take him soon and move on behind those 2 runners just ahead. But we may never know who was victorious in that battle as we skip to 6.2k now. We are halfway up the hill. Will looks at the camera. It's definitely on, Dub. Well done. Let's check the damage done in that 6th kilometre as Will begins to squeeze on behind this Hastings runner. Oh, it's a big loss. It's a 4:44. That's 28 seconds gone, but it was a big bloody hill. 45 metres, and Hastings runner has been eradicated. But those 28 seconds lost means that the 14 seconds we had in our pocket has been flipped to 14 seconds now behind the 90-minute goal, with another fully uphill kilometre to come. We knew it wasn't going to be easy, but the worst is mostly done at least. Maybe? Towards the end of this 7th kilometre, we at least get the fans coming out in huge numbers for Crown, purely here just for W Mills. Cameraman as well, snapping up that big hunk. Just the boost of adrenaline that he needs. And that has enabled him to catch the guy just ahead of him that he's been slowly catching the last 500 metres, and the guy in the fire top. How has he fared time-wise in this 7th kilometre, though? Okay, a 4:31, so quite a bit quicker than the previous one. Only 15 seconds lost. But we're straight to the end of the 8K now. That did finish with a bit of a downhill. Hopefully he's made some time up. I mean lose less time. It was still net 16 metres uphill, but a 4:23... means that 8K, with the worst of the hills done, we've got 36 seconds to make up. The next 6K are continually up and down hills, some pretty steep gradients at times. Being sensible in those uphills, pushing enough in the downhills to get the time back, but just keeping that heart rate in a reasonable zone so he can attack the end of the race when it's all downhill and then flattens out at the end. We're talking to a few runners here who knew the channel. I believe Sam is one of them that Will runs with for a little way here. I think he's also going for his first sub 90. Can he do it as Will reaches the top of another hill and can enjoy a brief downhill before again another uphill? It's just up and down, as I said, for the next 5 and 6K. But again, the Hastings public coming out in force to cheer the runners on. That is Sam just there ahead of Will. They are both flying down here, 3:45 per kilometre. They've both kept enough in the tank up that massive Queensway. They didn't burn any matches too early. Keep this coming, amigos. And this is absolutely ideal that Will has Sam with him here. It's always going to help when you've got someone with the exact same goal as you. But as our little climb begins again, Will takes the lead. But that didn't last too long, so we've skipped forward a kilometre, 9.7k now. Sam right there ahead of us again. Will's heart rate, by the way, 3:45 per kilometre speed, down at 166 heart rate. That makes me feel very good, but that is at the bottom of a reasonable sort of maybe 800-900 metres of down.
Damo's literally just ahead, so I'm probably going too fast. He's in the like the sort of luminous pink. Where is he? Oh, he's just sped up a little bit. I can't see him now.
Will there slightly concerned that he could still see Damo ahead of him, thinking he's going too quick, and he can just see him going through the roundabout at the moment. But don't worry, brother. You're 163 heart rate. That is well within yourself. Your fitness has just come on leaps and bounds this year. You're chatting away in the 10th K of a hilly half marathon. You're feeling good. You're going to go get the sub 90. The fans are going to go wild. Come on, W. Let's get that 9th and 10k split on the board to see where we are before we start trekking quite uphill for 2 kilometres, unfortunately. The 9th was a 4:14 despite being net 14 metres uphill. And the 10th a 4:01 with a nice 15 metres downhill. So a 17-second swing in Will's favour. We're now 19 seconds behind at 10k. As you can see on screen, we're climbing uphill. But this doesn't faze the hill runner of the year 2025. He's still put in a 4:13, 3 seconds gained, and we now have just 16 seconds to make up with only 3 or 4k of up and down to go before we're just downhill to the seafront. This is superb stuff so far from W Mills. He goes past the 7-mile sign on the right, so we are well over halfway now. He's working oh so hard up the hill he's currently in, and this will be the highest point of the course shortly. 135 metres or so. He's just got to keep grinding away. But he finally reaches the top of that hill. He's coming back down now, 3:45 per kilometre. There's only one more massive, long uphill section to go, and then it's just a few little bumps in the road to come after that. The rest downhill. 12k is in, it's a 4:14, another cheeky 2 seconds gained, and as I said, with one more big uphill to come, we're only 14 seconds behind the sub-90 dream. This is so bloody on. And again, we're flying downhill currently, 350, 355 per kilometre. Time is coming towards us. Keep your head in the game, W Mills. But the final big climb is here. This may be a telling kilometre. If he's pushed too hard up to now, he might be in trouble and lose a big chunk of time here. But in that downhill 13th kilometre, a 3:58, his first in the threes, an 18 seconds swing towards glory. And we are back ahead of our goal, 4 seconds ahead, 13k, with a big kilometre up now to just try and not lose as much as possible. And then he can let his body fly and fall down towards the seafront.
D Mills.
Listen to him working so hard, and he can still see D Mills just ahead of him. And as they approach a turnaround, look who it is! Will must be within 20 seconds of D Mills. This is a colossal effort. And the top of this final massive uphill is just there at the turnaround. Damo's in the downhill. Will be there soon. Round he goes. Just before an hour as well. Hopefully under half an hour of running to go. You can see Sam there, maybe 5 seconds behind Will at the moment. But in the downhill section now, it's not as easy as it sounds with how downhill it goes. It's sort of like 8-9% down, which is tough to run down a gradient. I find it pretty tough myself. It smashes my quads up, especially if you're slightly fucked from 13-14k of running up and down hills. But instantly you can see the pace picking up towards 4 flat a kilometre. Come on, Will, this could finally be it. But that 14th k that was mostly uphill, a 4:34. So we can say goodbye to 18 seconds. And we move back into the red, 16 seconds behind at 14k, 2/3 of the race in. But the next third is all downhill, barring one hill to come, maybe 2. But they're very tiny, little cheeky pips in a mostly downhill train and a flat seafront final 3k or so. Surely this should be ours. 9 miles flashes past, and then Will moves us forward 2:15k. What was that split? A 4 minutes and 6 seconds. That's 10 seconds we've gained back on a 20-metre downhill. And look at us now, though, flying downhill. 10% gradient there. This is the big boy to make up time. 64 metres down overall. Come on, Will, go get those people just ahead of you. You are only 6 seconds behind now. Couple of woof woofs and a young lad cheering Will on there. They all want him to do this. Oh hell yes, cash to the money, to the cash money. A 3:43 16th kilometre there from Will. 33 seconds gained. And we fly 27 seconds into the positive, and now we just have a park run to go that after this little levelling out goes downhill again for a k, and then we are seafront flat. This has got to be in the bag. He's caught up to this Hastings runner. Now we skip on to the end of that 17th k. He's caught another pack up to help him run along the seafront. What was that kilometre? Oh, shiitake mushrooms. It's a 3:50 from Will. 26 seconds. He has managed to save a good amount of energy to fly down those hills. We are now 53 seconds ahead of our goal. A few more metres of downhill to enjoy, but plenty of spectators. And then it's flat all the way home, where obviously it will get slightly tougher, but he's got such a huge chunk to play with and lots of runners just ahead of him to draft him behind. Oh, they absolutely adore him. They've come out in their droves for one man and one man only. W. Mills is delivering for the fans today. He can now just lap up the plaudits on a victory straight home.
Uh-oh.
Oh no, I completely forgot about the headwind at the end. Look at the pace at the moment, 440 per kilometre. That pace will obliterate all that hard work. Those 53 seconds will be gone in a flash. We picked it up slightly to 4:30 now at least. And okay, panic slightly over. That 18th kilometre was still a 4:11, so he's actually gained another 5 seconds, but I feel like a lot of that was the end of the downhill, and I'm slightly concerned that I'm going to be crying in 3 kilometres time.
Okay, running, mate.
Don't give up now. Who is it? Oh, it's Bargy Man he's let through. Will, that is totally unacceptable. You stay with him now. Stop going at 440 per kilometre. Can you even afford to drop that? I'm not sure you can. He's at least overtaking someone there. I believe that is James. But look, Sam has come back through us. And as you can hear, he is not happy about it. And you can see why that 19th kilometre of 4:33, 17 seconds lost. And here is the deal. 2 kilometres to go, 41 seconds. He can afford to start doing 4:36s and still just about scrape home. The 4:40 I'm seeing at the top left, if he continues at that pace, everything is for nothing. Come on, W Mills. Sam is right there. And to me, that is who you've got to try and stay with to get this job done now. Keep fighting. But Sam is long gone. He's disappeared at 20.3k now. Listen to the wind trying to destroy a nation's heart. He's managed to just about scrape together a 4:32, another 16 seconds lost. He finds himself with 25 seconds to play with in this final kilometre. He moves past Pinkfest. He starts to pick up the pace. He needs to start picking up the pace, or this was going to be within seconds. It still might be. Give me one last 700 metres, Wildo. Just about doing enough at the moment, but the 4:30 per kilometre worries me.
I'm down to one last breath, and with it let me say, hold me now. I'm 6 feet from the edge, and I'm thinking maybe 6 feet is so far down.
I was hoping he'd be picking it up more by now. He's still holding 4:30 per kilometre, 500 metres to go. And he clips towards 4:35. Come on, Will! He's making this as stressful as possible for me. To that breeze pushing him back. He's got to get to the finish within 2 minutes now, but he's going at 4:45 briefly. Maybe 6 feet ain't so far down. Come on, Will, keep pushing! I'm 6 feet from the edge and I'm thinking maybe 6 feet is so far down. No idea if that guy's in the race, but an overtake's an overtake. And we finally have picked it up to 4:15 per kilometre. Will can sniff the finish line. He's 200 metres for home, but he's got to get there within the next minute. He's picked it up to 3:45 per kilometre. Tinky Winky sees his hero. Will flashes past onto the road. He turns left and he can see the finish line. 100 metres to put your name in lights forever. kilometre. He's got 20 seconds to get there. It looks so close, but so far away. He's digging his head into the wind. I think he's going to do it. I think he's going to do it. Look at the clock. It's just below. He's done it, everyone. He's done it. He comes home in a gun time of 1 hour, 29 and 57 seconds, just under, but that chip time was a little bit more comfortable, 13 seconds under a 1 hour, 29:47 in 101st position. I did think he was top 100, but 101st it says there. An absolutely incredible effort from W. Mills, getting the sub 90 on one of the toughest courses in the country. He is now ready to smash that time at some flatter half marathons in the new year. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. We've got 2 other videos coming from Hastings Half Marathon, my video and Damo's video. They're both fantastic. We will see you then.